What's happening, sports fans? We welcome you into the Week 2 reaction show. Christian Pedersen, Noah Laxina, or Christian Pedersen, Noah I never know when I'm looking at the Zoom if that's exactly how it ends up getting recorded and played back. Noah's in one of these directions joining us. Noah, I am heartbroken and sad because of that 52-50, 4.5-hour Scripps Ranch La Jolla game ending with my team down 1 point. But what a week, man. Games already on Thursday that were in the book. We saw a couple huge ones there. We got a couple more today on Saturday. But this is our reaction show, just generally overreacting to a crazy week that saw, Cathedral look not necessarily top, but, that's also against a huge opponent. Some crazy upsets like Grossmont went. I don't know, a lot to talk about. If you want the full scores, you can go on to our Instagram at SD Prep Insider. You can download the Scorebook Live app. We don't need to go through every single one of these, but Noah, I just wanted to jump off that to me, Mira Mesa over San Marcos, big.
Huge.
Not just a bounce back for Mira Mesa after losing to Helix last week, but just big in general as a statement for that program, winning a couple divisions up. Oceanside over Saints was kind of interesting. Ramona over Rancho Bernardo was kind of interesting. Poway over Eastlake felt like a massive upset.
Yeah. Quick about that. The defense was, I believe it's there. 21 points against a quality opponent like Poway is not a bad outing for the defense, right? You can't expect it to be perfect. But I feel like there's been a lot of pressure on them early because they've got it clicking. They have their star athletes, their linebackers that run around, but their offense doesn't give them that breathing room. So I think their offense definitely needs to pick it up in the next few weeks.
Grossmont over El Camino. This one was a one of our games that we previewed on the show this week with our whole group, and everybody in here was all of a sudden all in on El Camino after they beat Saints in week 1, and then Grossmont. Statement win, accidental win. What do you make out of this one?
Grossmont's always going to be a tough opponent to play because of their offense. It's just so high-powered every year. Even in years where they lose by a lot of points, they still putting up a ton of points and a lot of numbers. So I think it just speaks to the strength that everybody has this year. You never really know what you're going to get week to week. And I think that's why I'm particularly loving how this season's going, because you just don't know. You don't know if you're going to see your team get an upset, quote unquote upset, or you're going to see a team that you're not expecting to do good and they end up beating a quality opponent. It's just quality football all around, in my opinion.
A pair of shout outs to get to for shutouts as we scroll through our scores. San Pasqual Academy 62-0 over Calvin Christian. That's pretty big. The Victory Christian Academy Knights 54-0 over North Valley Military Institute. It was a big week like that North Valley Institute for San Diego sections teams playing non-section teams. We had Carlsbad beat up on Milliken, Army Navy beat up on the California Military Institute. Lincoln barely loses to Los Alamitos. You want to go ahead and talk about that one, Noah?
You feel for those Lincoln boys because it was a very close game, and just for it to end the way that it did, you want to see them make a play. But I think it's going to be a good learning experience for them. And maybe we look back on this and we see them complete a few 2-minute drills down the line in the playoffs and in the chat when it's time for a championship. So I think I want to look at this game and see where it takes us from here on out.
Yeah, this could be that good learning experience that turns them into the mega version of themselves.
And sometimes you need that. You have these high expectations.
You guys do always argue about that on the show. That you're like,
literally, like, okay, nobody wants to lose, right? If me and you are playing ping pong, I'm not trying to lose that game, Christian, right?
Never.
But when it comes to a team sport like football, and it's so early in the season, and it's a sport where you can lose, theoretically, you can lose a couple games and still make the playoffs, right? So in that situation, it's like, okay, we take what we got. We don't want to lose. I'm still going to be upset. I'm still going to wake up mad as heck. But hopefully down the line, they remember that feeling. And when they start preparing week to week, they know that they got to be on their A game every single game. And even though it's a marathon, you still got to have that 100% effort.
Coronado gets a big win over Sweetwater. We've had a lot of confidence in Sweetwater the last couple of years, and they're on the up, but that also means that Coronado's on the up. So congratulations to them.
Yeah, Coronado bounced back. Shout out to them.
Let's see. Helix with the dub over Otay. That feels pretty big to me. To like we've said that we didn't know what Helix's win last week was, and now it feels a little bit more like they're on the right track. You got something on that game?
Yeah, just wanted to say, I know it was a bit of it's crazy, right? You win a game, and you're thinking, dang, Helix didn't win by 30. So it's like, what's up going on with Helix? But I think they're going to be a team that's going to continue to grow every single week. Their defense is always going to be there, but you're going to see the highlight films starting to get going. You're going to see those ooh and the ah plays that comes with watching a Helix game.
Madison, they beat Steele Canyon. That's big, yes?
That's huge. I mean, you maybe losing to Otay last week just lit a fire into them. Then, so, we're going to drop 22 on Steele Canyon, which is a very big, great, strong defense. And 22-21. Wow, that's a nail biter.
My apologies for the interruption there. We had an intern-related incident. I had to go out and make sure everything was okay. Noah Laxina may be back for the rest of the show, may not. We have yet to hear back from him dialed in on the Zoom, but we'll keep going. We had stopped with Madison over Steele Canyon, and this is a huge bounce back from Madison after their week 1 loss. And this is, I would have been asking Noah, is this panic time for Steele Canyon? I don't think 0-2 is panic time, but it's certainly, it's tough to lose 2 close ones, and that can drain on a team a little bit. Continuing down the run on week 2 of the San Diego High School football results, the La Jolla versus Scripps Ranch game. 52-51, Scripps Ranch wins in a rematch of the 2019 Division 3 or 2 championships. Don't remember off the top of my head right now. That game was incredible. That game was exhausting physically and emotionally, I'm sure, for both sides. But, man, congratulations, Scripps Ranch, on proving not just all of us wrong, but a lot of the people doubting that anything was going to be able to stop the Vikings this year. That is a huge win. Cathedral Catholic drops a big one to Centennial. My open-ended question is, how do you rank a team still number 1 after they lose, even though they're playing a team that is disproportionately better than anything here in San Diego? La Jolla Country Day, big W. University City, big W. Huge, though, game ball to Will Gray for getting his first win as the head coach at Hoover High School. Congratulations to the Cardinals as they beat El Cajon Valley. Mater Dei Catholic advances. All right, Noah is going to be back on in just a second. Mater Dei Catholic is where we will pick it up with Noah when we get to him. I was talking to the people about Mater Dei going to 2-0 with a 53-6 win. Man, they're poised for something big, right? Like, that's another, got to check that box, get another big W, like a drastic win, right, to maintain those standards.
Yeah, definitely. I think as far as offenses go, they've been the most impressive offense. Now, we're still waiting for them to get in one of those grudge matches and see like their versatility, because it seems like everything's just working, right? If they could call any play and it's going to result in a big play, big touchdown. But I want to see when they get to struggle a little bit and they have to make adjustments. I'm looking forward to see how they use their versatility and see how their different stars come to play. But so far, they look like a Madden offense right now.
Speaking of Madden offense, I will double back to a game I'd been talking about before you rejoined us, was the 52-51 Scripps over La Jolla final. That feels like, holy heck, that should have just been the championship game. But like that's the best matchup we've had in a single game in a minute in this section, right?
Right. No, yeah, definitely. I mean, it's crazy because you see one team could jump up pretty big, then another team comes back and now it's a game, right? And then you see, all right, for sure you're thinking, this was the touchdown that's going to win the game. And then you're like, nope, it's still a ball game. And then even at the end, La Jolla scores to make it close, and then you're like, wow, what's going to happen? Can there be some crazy strip fumble? Like it seemed like an episode of Friday Night Lights. And then all of a sudden that dramatic ending just kills. For one team, you're like celebrating, everyone's running, you're like, wow. And the other team, there's like just straight disappointment. But the good thing and the sad thing kind of for both teams, depending on how you look at it, is it is just one game, and now you got to move on to the next week.
You got to feel like, though, for both teams, this is kind of like you said with the Lincoln game. It's that lesson, that defining moment that engages that next gear. Because La Jolla, like you said, they're going to be salty and angry as hell. Right. You got to think that Scripps has to be riding pretty high off of this.
Definitely. I mean, you beat a talented team like that. I will say this, the good thing about it though, is you get to like talk about it in film the next day. and you get to discuss it as a team. Where did we go wrong? What can we do right? And the hardest part is looking at that film, because it's going to bring back some sad feelings, but at the end of the day, it's going to help you get better and you're going to grow from it. It's better doing that than not getting to look at it and your season's over, right?
This becomes the de facto Division II championship game now, right? Like, there's no way to expect any other two teams to make it out of that D2 bracket, is there?
As of right now, yes, but I think that's why we're over. We gotta make those overreaction bold statements early. I love that. You gotta love it. But hey, I hope the other teams out there get a load of this film. They use this as their material, that billboard material, and hopefully we see a couple more teams grow. But yes, as of right now, has to be.
I'm trying to figure out how we can also then get the loser of that game into the state playoffs and have a trio of games in one season.
Right. Get the article and get them in there.
Yeah. The last game I want to talk about is Mount Carmel moving to 2-0. After the last couple of years of Mount Carmel having athletes, but not necessarily results, them starting 2-0 under Coach Wesleyan feels like they're maybe going to be my early team that they might be a sneaky 7-3 by the end of the year. Maybe even a sneaky 8-2.
Right. And again, I think we talk a lot about in sports in general about fit. And that's just a great coach fit with the players, with the school. I think they did a great job hiring Coach Wesleyan, and I'm excited to see them continue to progress. And I think as the more weeks that they get under the belt, the more reps they take, the better that team is going to get.
Noah, any games from week 2 that we didn't discuss that you would like to specifically highlight?
No, I think we went over all the games. Cathedral, you know what? It's okay. All right. Whatever. At the end of the day, is a loss. You got to go recover from that. You still have a big chip. You got to have a big chip on your shoulder and show San Diego that was one game and that you're going to be a force to be reckoned with.
People also,
we're still,
yeah,
you guys got this.
People don't have a great feel for how much better Centennial is than anything we see here in San Diego. So yeah, those are always hard to understand just until you actually see that team physically in person, where you're like, right, damn.
Yeah. Hard pill to swallow for sure.
Yeah, definitely a hard pill to swallow. But I don't see it knocking them off the number 1 seed. I don't see any other team in San Diego performing at a level where I'd be like, yeah, they are gonna catch Cathedral based off of this week's results. Noah Lax, you can find him at Noah Lax 17 on all the social media. Thank you very much for checking in with us. We'll talk to you next Saturday for another recap show, my man. Folks, if you need the rest of the scores, download the Scorebook Live app or follow at SB Live CA on all the social media for updates. We'll talk to you guys next time.